Here are the top 12 cars that look slow but are really fast. You'll pull up to these at the light thinking you're about to give the gap, but then get gapped. Then you'll be driving the rest of the way home as you look to sell your car on the marketplace. Be sure to stick to the end because the last one you probably never knew would be on this list. Coming at number 1, we have the Chevy SS. This car came out in 2014, and Chevy did an absolutely terrible job at marketing it. Imagine a Chevy Malibu, but with an LS motor and 415 horsepower in it from the factory. Whoever was in charge of this project should get a raise, because this is one crazy sleeper. It's a sedan that you can take the kids to school with, and within the same trip beat Camaros and Corvettes in a race. Now, because these cars weren't really mass-produced, about 12,000 made, they go for around 30 to 40K, and even 50K for ones with low mileage. Some even came with a 6-speed manual. This car will probably be the closest Chevy ever gets to making a 4-door Corvette. So keep an eye out for this car. I can guarantee you have mistaken them on the road for some casual family car. Next at number 2, the Lexus ISF. This is the fanciest and fastest Camry to ever have existed. These were produced from 2008 to 2014 and give C7 Corvettes a run for their money and can beat Scat Packs with ease. From the factory, they came with 417 horsepower, 8 gears, and had the fastest shifting transmission in the world at the time. So if the wife is telling you to find a reliable family car, pick one of these up and she won't notice. All Lexuses are made by Toyota, so they can have high mileage and still be a great option. You can find these cars for 25K to 30K, and on the weekends you can take it to the track. Their motors were also built in collaboration with Yamaha. At number 3, we got the 2014 Infiniti Q70. These cars literally look like Nissan Maximas, but some models had a 5.6-liter V8 and 416 horsepower. No one really knows much about these cars because they stopped producing them in 2019 due to low sales. They had really spacious interiors and looked like any other Infiniti on the road. Infinitis in general are slow, so no one would expect this to be able to beat some muscle cars on the road, all while being a grocery go-getter. They also had both rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options. So based off your needs, you could buy the rear-wheel drive if you want to do donuts, and all-wheel drive if you're trying to give the gap to anyone at the light. Next at number 4, the 2008 to 2009 Saab 97X Aero. This car had a LS2 V8 motor with 400 horsepower from the factory. Not only that, it was all-wheel drive. Considering it weighs 4,700 pounds, this was still a lot of power and torque for an SUV. It's a mom car with a Corvette motor. Now you can get your kids to soccer practice 30 minutes early while you give everyone on the street the sweet symphony of the American V8. As you can probably tell, a lot of these cars have LSs in them. At number 5, we have a classic, the Pontiac G8 GT. This is yet another sedan that had an LS motor in it. They came out in 2008 and had 415 horsepower. These cars are so unsuspecting on the road until you pull up next to one that is cammed and has racing slicks. Okay, but that's enough of LS cars. Next at number 6, we got the Ford Taurus SHO. If you're trying to run from a cop that's in one of these, just give up, bro. They came with 365 horsepower from the factory and have a twin turbocharged V6 EcoBoost. Not the fastest sedan out there, but it's pretty looked over when it comes to power. At number 7, we got another Lexus. That's the 2008 Lexus is 350. Now I actually owned one of these cars and was very surprised at how quick it was compared to other cars in its category with more power. It came with 306 horsepower and a 3.5-liter V6. Even though it's a recently divorced mom's car, it beats G37's coupes and 370Zs pretty easily for a sedan. What people didn't know about these cars is that they have very aggressive gearing, both off the line and when up to speed. So it may look like you're beating this car in a race, but it will just catch up around 50 miles per hour and reel you in. They can even beat some of the older Corvettes, which is just straight up disrespectful. Coming in at number 8, we got a Buick, but not just any Buick, the Grand National from 1982 to 1987. These cars didn't look all that fast. They came with 276 horsepower and had a 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, which is pretty phenomenal. Sadly, these cars are pretty rare, so they go for 40K if they're in good condition. But back when they were released, they were 15K. I'm actually quite surprised these things only weighed 3,300 pounds. Now at number 9, we got the BMW M5. This car is so unsuspecting, but it has a treat under the hood. A naturally aspirated V10 with 500 horsepower from the factory. It really just looks like any other old 5 Series BMW. The reliability ratings of this car are pretty bad, so you can find them cheap, almost like a V12 with the right exhaust. So it can be the perfect family car. Well, not really, considering it gets 10 miles per gallon. It also came with a manual option for added fun. At number 10, we got the 2024 Volvo S60. These things have a 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. With 455 horsepower, this is insane. Turbocharged 4-cylinder. I never would have expected a Volvo car to be quick. Usually when you see these cars, your 80-year-old neighbor is driving them. Could you imagine going to the track one day and seeing this car line up with you? I'd probably be quite scared, especially since it makes zero noise. At number 11, we got a casual W12, the Volkswagen Phaeton. These came with 444 horsepower and is 4 cylinders away from being a Bugatti. I mean, come one, they're pretty much the same thing because they're both made by the same company. Sadly, in the US, they were only sold from 2005 to 2006. These things look like any other VW on the road. They literally sound like a Lamborghini Aventador with a straight-piped exhaust. Lastly, at number 12, the 1990 Lotus Carlton. These came with a turbocharged inline-6 that produced 377 horsepower from the factory. People actually wanted this car banned because the police could not keep up with it, and it was a big competitor for companies like Porsche and Ferrari at the time. It could even get up to 177 miles per hour, which is pretty crazy for a car made in the 90s. But other than that, guys, those are the top 12 cars that look slow but are actually pretty fast. Let us know below if you think there's another car that should be on this list. With that being said, be sure to like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.